Professor Timmermans, thank you for being with us today. We have a couple of questions about your work. So, trust in health and scientific institutions is increasingly fragile, yet it remains essential for the success of public health strategies. How can we communicate scientific uncertainty in a way that preserves or even strengthens public trust?
Thank you for your question. That's a very interesting question, of course. Trust is very important in public health and in medicine at all, in society, of course. But I want first to remark that I don't know that public trust is declining everywhere because public trust in science is not declining. We have a recent report in the Netherlands and also for other countries. And especially in the medical field, it's not declining but it stays even increased. But it is very important because especially when things are in public health and with illness and when things are uncertain and there was a lot of threat that people can't understand everything, so they need to trust in experts in order to navigate these risks. So trust is very important, but people use it as a heuristic to make sense of a hazard or a risky situation. Uh, but then the other hand, you shouldn't trust experts too much because it's also a value and well, experts are not always right. So it's complicated. You trust your expert, you should trust your doctor, of course, but also be a little bit critical because there are also interest involved in, well, for instance, take vaccines. The big pharma earns a lot of money, billions and billions with producing vaccines, and they want to push it. So a little bit of critical uh, attitude is, I think, a good idea. Regarding the scientific uncertainty, this the second part of your study is, well, yeah, depends on, a lot of experts think, well, do not communicate the scientific uncertainty because people get confused, but there's a lot of evidence showing that people will not be confused if you talk about epistemic uncertainty. So we do not know yet uh, how this pandemic evolves, so they understand. What I do not like is the consensus uncertainty. The consensus uncertainty, that's the disagreement between experts, between scientists, because then they suspect, okay, why are they disagreeing? Oh, that should be um, probably interest involved. So if you are communicating the scientific uncertainty, be very clear about the epistemic, and you do not know, and address the consensus uncertainty when there is a disagreement between scientists.
Health promotion often assumes a one size fits all citizen, while in reality, people differ in values, knowledge, and social context. How can risk and well being communication be co created with diverse publics, integrating their lived experience rather than imposing top down messages?
Thank you for that question. Again, of course, a good question. And what you see in public health and also in communication is that the health information often mostly is based on expert knowledge. How they think the risk is, and translate this into lay terms, and then we put that into the field, and then people understand. Well, they don't, because they think differently. The expert and lay people, citizens, think differently about your health risk. Different aspects are important. So you have to address, to know how people think, what their beliefs are about certain risk, and adapt your information to these beliefs people have, and take away misconceptions, etc. Of course, there are also differences between people. People are, some people are more highly educated and they understand better the numbers. But it's also the case that people like the numbers because it's more exact information. And when you co-create, I think it's a good approach to co-create health information. To first you have a good idea about how people think about the risk, and include and ask people, well, uh, uh, um, what do you need, and in what way do you need it? And then you came up with different kind of communication than the experts think about. So, and of course, involve a diverse group. That's always very important.